Good morning, good night, good evening, you lovelies. It is the one, the only, Cappy D. Barra, and we are here for a review for NXT August 5th, 2025. I caught zero of this program as usual, but we will be recapping everything that we were able to catch on the flip side, being that we are avidly, say it with me, folks, say it with me, not fucking with the Fed. We're gonna start off this night very strong with Blake Monroe going up against, I believe her name is Kaylani. Good match all around. Blake Monroe is still trying to get into her own identity in WWE, being that as of now, she unfortunately, due to creative, is just like a diet Tony Storm, which is just idiotic for so many reasons. But this match gets interrupted by Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is in a neck brace, which is the explanation as to why she hasn't been wrestling for the past couple of weeks. Also the explanation as to why we're not just getting a match between these two, because they're building towards to save this up for the next NXT pay-per-view, because that's just more financially beneficial, being that they are in about $3 billion in debt. So anything that they can do to get out of that hole, they will. Even if it's prolonging a match as simple as this, with two pretty fucking mid-carders, being that neither of these people have had title shots yet. They are worthy of a World Women's Championship, no question about it, but at the moment, they are not the main card. None of these women are technically the main card, just essentially of how they're being booked. Maybe you could say JC Jane, but we're supposed to believe anytime now she's supposed to lose that TNA championship for the big finishing the story of the next TNA Mary Sue that comes up, right? This match obviously gets ruined due to the run-in, and we're supposed to be building towards this whole Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe program. I'm not that excited for it, but Jordynne Grace is a hooper, and Blake Monroe is probably one of the better women's wrestlers on the planet. So, we'll look forward to it, and we'll see what creative can do with this. The Uber was already called for her to run outside. That was a little weird, but I mean, I guess she couldn't carjack a guy, right? I don't know. The entire way that they went about it was just kind of odd. Next, we get Nia Jax versus Thea Hall. Or Thea Hale, or I believe her name is. This match is a squash match. Thea Hale deserves a lot more. I mean, they broke up Chase U. There's not a lot happening with her group, or realistically anything moving towards a Thea Hall run. So she is just stuck in jobber category. I don't know why Nia Jax is on NXT. This is such an insane prospect. I have no idea what she's doing on NXT. She doesn't really belong there, being that she's a former WWE Women's Champion. Why the fuck is she wrestling on whatever, right? Last Legend comes out and they're prolonging this beef that they have. And I'm serious, guys. There is nothing building towards these rivalries. Just, hey, I don't like you. I don't like you because I don't like you. And I don't like you because, yeah. This with Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe, there's this kind of femme fatale kind of situation, which I guess I can kind of gel with, but I'm not really picking up on any of these stories and what they're actually trying to lead towards. But maybe I'm just not paying close enough attention. That's always possible. We get a good amount of backstage segments. We get a backstage segment with Joe Henry, which I thought was pretty entertaining for what it was. It concluded with him essentially being summoned and popping out of a fridge. It went viral. It was pretty funny. I liked it. I thought it was pretty all right. After this, we get a backstage segment with JC Jane, and JC Jane is told by a representative of TNA that she will be giving up that belt any second now, and that's just supposed to be going somewhere. I understand that there was also supposed to be a Trick Williams segment on an upcoming TNA sooner or later. I don't know when that's supposed to be coming, but we're supposed to be looking out for that. So, there's that. I will not be reviewing TNA. I'll let you know that right now. All right. From Raw to NXT to Dynamite to Friday Night SmackDown to Collision. Listen, I got enough on my plate, boys. I got enough on my plate. There's really not a lot that happens. There's not a lot that happens on this NXT card. There was a match for the NXT Championship between NXT Tag Team Championship. Blanking on their name. I'll do my best to put it up in the video somewhere. But the champs retained. Apparently there was a bit of a botch towards the mid part of this match. Moving forward, there's also a segment with just two people having a conversation, and Nia Jax and Lash Legend, they just keep running in, they just keep beating the shit out of each other. I don't know what you guys want from me on this. I really do think that Lash Legend should, if she's not going to be in the main card, she should be going after that main women's NXT belt. And there's no question about that. I don't know what Nia Jax is doing here. I don't know why she's on the developmental quote-unquote brand. Well, congratulations, you beat the developmental brand. I hope you're proud. You beat the developmental brand, right? I don't know why she's on this. I don't know why she's here, but she is. And, you know, she's gorgeous. And I expressed it before. I think what she could do in the ring when it comes to her character work and the in-ring psychology, I think it's really solid. You know, she plays like a big, and, you know, she gets reactions like a big, like a heel. It's positive. It's a lot of positives that go into her being a part of a program. I don't know why she's a part of the NXT program, though. That's the thing that's a little confusing to me. We're going to kind of cap off this episode, probably not this night, but we're going to cap off this episode with Ethan Page standing in the ring, just kind of doing his normal jibber jabber. I'm blanking on who comes out, but somebody comes out to approach him, and immediately after, Chelsea Green and the Her Service come out to kind of defend Ethan Page, and they say, like, you know, we're the protectors of Canada or something. I don't know what WWE's creative is, like what their point is, but if it's just to make sure that nobody gets over, they've got it. They won. Mello is trying as hard as he can to get over organically. Same with Knight. I mean, I think Bronson Reed is doing some of his fucking most. Bronson Reed is trying to do the stoic thing right, because he's not allowed to talk, even though we know he could cut a pretty okay promo. We know he could be a pretty, like, intimidating guy when he gets his, like, you know, when the juice starts going. So I don't understand why we can't sit here and listen from guys like him. But then you have to remember that pieces of this creative are simply designed to put people under. Now, Chelsea Green, as of late, has had an amazing career, right? She's been just taking bumps and being the, she said it herself, kind of like the Miz-esque figure of the WWE. And that's a good place. That's a good place to be. No argument about it. But I'm going to be very honest when I say this. I don't enjoy the precedent of Nia Jax, Chelsea Green, even some acts like Natty, who have to just run this developmental indie circuit when they are fucking hoopers, man. They're beasts in the ring, and all they need is a solid creative and a couple of good matches to put them over with the crowd, heel or face. It's a little lazy. It's a little lazy, man. 3 matches, 2-hour show. I mean, it's not a lot that happens here, y'all. There's a lot of filler with Nia Jackson, the Lash Legend. A lot of backstage segments, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, I'm pushing the story somewhere, but you know, I'm an act for wrestling. You know what I mean? Give me good wrestling, and I'm there. I'm entertained, but it wasn't all that. It wasn't all that. Before I leave, though, actually, there was a Sol Ruka match. Sol Ruka actually defends her title in a really, really good match, actually. Sol Ruka is probably one of the sharpest wrestlers on NXT right now, probably right up there with Jevin, Obi. People are going to, you know, try to criticize NXT for it being the quote-unquote developmental brand, but, you know, there are talents like Sol Ruka, there are talents like Javon Evans, there are talents like Ethan Page, there are talents like Ricky Starks. You know, the commentators, I think the commentators give it all they got when they try to, you know, make the crowd pop and have something happen. The crowds, when they're not being, you know, incel kind of gooner adjacent weirdos, like, they're hot. It's a hot crowd, man. Like, they get reactions, they respond well, and I think NXT, it has an opportunity to not only impress but astound so many wrestling fans. But the creative has to be there, man. Creative has to be there. Sean has to keep his eye on the ball. His good eye. I will be doing Dynamite tonight, and I will also be making sure to get to the wrestling promotions. I will also try to get to One Piece tonight, being that we are going to be reacting to 157 and 156 very shortly. But that is going to be coming at a very reasonable pace, I assure you. This has been Cappy. Stay tuned and stay beautiful, y'all. Peace.